Hello, everyone. Good morning and good evening or good afternoon, depending from where you're joining us from. I hope I am audible enough. Kindly confirm for me on the comments on the chat section if you can be able to hear me. Yeah, you can just write or even just use a thumbs up emoji on the comments so that I can know you are able to hear me. And welcome. I've seen that we have joined in. And thank you, Jasper and Stella, for giving a go on the trivia that I had shared. Before I continue, kindly confirm for me that you can hear me. Okay, thank you, Jasper. And also for maybe if you're not able to hear me, I might just say because you're using StreamYard, it might have prompted you to unmute, and the unmute is different from what you normally use on Google Meet. So it doesn't mean that you're going to be using your speaker. It's for you to be able to hear what's happening. So if you're not able to, just ensure that you have unmuted. Yeah, so welcome everyone. As you know, we are here for the How to Craft a Winning 2025 Digital Marketing Strategy, and I'm really excited about it. And before we go on, allow me to introduce myself. I am Kate Wanjiko, a digital marketing consultant who normally specializes in helping businesses, organizations, and brands to unlock the digital potential through formulating of transformative and result-driven digital marketing strategies and offering of specialized training. Yeah, so today we are focusing on that part of digital marketing strategy, which is normally my core work. Yeah. And so even before we start, I would just love to give you the anatomy of the training, how we are going to go about it. So for the first 1 hour, 15 minutes, it will be an in-depth presentation all about the stages and the steps on how to formulate a digital marketing strategy. But also at the same time, as we continue, you might be having like questions pop up. Feel free to write them on the chat box. Yeah, because now we will have, want to have like about 50 or 20 minutes, or even if it goes to 30 minutes to answer the questions that you might be having in regards to all about the digital marketing strategy or any other thing that you might have a query pertaining to digital marketing. And also, yes, at the moment you're going to use the chat box, but during the Q&A, if you feel like, okay, I need to ask my question verbally, I will just prompt you to raise your hand so that I can invite you to join on this other side of StreamYard, so that now I can be able to onboard you. So that is the anatomy. Let's have fun. Take as many notes as you can. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. And also, if you see that there is a question that you wanted to ask and someone else has asked, you can just use the emojis and do a thumbs up. By liking, you don't have to repeat the same question. Yeah, but if you feel like I really need to ask my question in my own language, yeah, still feel free and we will embark on it. Yeah, so that is just on the anatomy of the training. And something else, if for instance maybe there is like internet disruption, don't worry, still use the same link that you've used to access, and I will work so quickly if such an instant happens for us to get back. So don't worry, we will still be able to continue, but I hope that nothing will happen. Yeah, so that is how we have structured the session. Yeah, so for us to start, we'll definitely start with some definition so that now we understand with some of these concepts that you're going to be discussing what it is, so that now when you go into the nitty gritty, already we have a good and clear base point. Yeah, so to start us off, because we're talking about digital marketing strategy, so we have first of all to start from the broader perspective about marketing, and then we drop down to what is digital marketing, and then what is strategy, and then what is all this about digital marketing strategy. So as we start off, the marketing, I will say, it is the process of identifying, communicating, and delivering value to your targeted clients and or customers using different channels and avenues to meet their needs. Yeah. So from this definition, you can clearly see that marketing, it is tied to you being able to address your targeted clients and customers. So it's not just randomly doing things so that anyone and everyone will be able to be caught by the message or will be able to know about your product. You have to first of all have in mind, who is my targeted customer, who is my targeted client. And so through the process of marketing, you now communicate, and you're not just communicating for the sake of it, you're communicating so that you can deliver value. Because when we are in business, we have a product or a service that is meant to solve a certain problem, or even to meet a certain desire. So this is the channel or the conduit through which you are delivering that value to your client. And so now I would say digital marketing is now the use of digital channels, because now you've seen in the marketing that we are using the different kind of channels. And I will say, we know we have the traditional marketing where we have billboards, or you have even advertisement or even door knocking. But right now we are focusing on the digital marketing where we are using the digital channels. And this is the social media platforms, the Facebook, the LinkedIn, the TikToks, and even YouTube. It is a social media platforms. And then because we're not just looking at social media marketing, it's digital marketing. Now that's when we're talking about things like emails, where we're talking about email marketing. We have websites, we have search engines, and even apps. So when we look at all these channels, that's when we're talking about digital marketing. I know sometimes people normally ask, what is the difference between social media marketing and digital marketing? This definition has answered that. So digital marketing is the use of these channels, again, to communicate to your targeted audience and to be able to deliver value to them. Yeah. So now when we have that definition, now again, because we know we are focusing on digital marketing strategy, now what is a strategy? So a strategy is a well thought out plan of action designed to achieve specific goals or objectives by effectively utilizing available resources and identifying the best path. Yeah. So you have this channel, but then for this channel, you have to have well thought out plans of action. So it's not just randomly posting or randomly just leveraging on the different tactics that maybe you've seen someone else do. No, you have to have a well thought out, designed to achieve a specific goal. So your goal, it is to raise awareness about your brand, or to raise awareness about your business, about your products. Another goal, it is for me to generate leads, for these people to be aware of these things, and even to make inquiry, and even at the end of the day to buy, yeah, to purchase. So you have to have those specific goals. And these ones, because now you have the well thought out plan, you are utilizing the available resources. Yeah, because you've identified your path, you have your objectives, and now you have to realistically say, what resources do I have at my disposal? Yeah, is for instance, now you want to do like maybe you want to create video content. Now you ask yourself, do I have the resources to enable me to do that? Yeah. So we are not just saying, I want to do video content, but when it comes to, okay, how are you going to go about it? Do you have a phone camera, or do you have even like an actual camera to do this? And you find yourself, oh, I don't have. So it means that is not the path that you're supposed to be taking. And so now for the general one, digital marketing again. So it is a structured plan aimed to identify, communicate, and deliver value to your targeted audience to meet their needs using the digital channels and effectively utilizing available resources and identifying the best path. So as you've seen, I have now combined the a definition from the broader marketing and then also towards strategy, so that now you can now understand what digital marketing strategy is all about. And you'll see, because we have said that it is a structured plan and it's a step by step, you'll see that you're going to go as a couple of series. Stage 1, we do this. Stage 2, we do this. Stage 3, and it's not something that is just done randomly. That one day we are thinking about, oh, let's do analysis. Another day we are thinking about, oh, let's focus on tactics. There are some things before you focus on your tactics, you have to have done analysis, you have to have done some other things, which is what you're going to be looking at. And this you'll find, because I want us to have at the back of our minds, this we are doing because of our targeted customers and clients. So we will have questions that we'll have to ask ourselves. And I would love to say that most of the questions when you're formulating the strategy, the questions that you normally use is the 5 W's and 1 H. The who, the why, the what, when, where, and how. Yeah, so you ask these questions in reference to your customer. What does our customer need? Where are our customer? How do our customers interact with us? Yeah, at every stage we'll be asking this, and it's not in relation to anyone else. It's not in relation to how do I feel I need to do my marketing? Do I feel today like doing carousel? No. If your audience, your target audience, they respond better to carousel, that is what you're going to do. And it's not carousel, they're easier for me. I find they are more artistic, they are more fancy, let me do that. No. At the back of your mind, always ensure marketing is all about your customer, your client. And also, it's not about, oh, my competitor. I think my competitor is just posting photos. Let me now do videos so that I can stay at the top of the game. Ask yourself, does your customer and client really need you to be using videos? Yeah, so those are the questions you're asking, and all questions they have to be targeted and aimed and focused on your targeted customer or client. So our first step of this digital marketing strategy is what we call situation analysis. So here is where we want to know our strengths, our current strengths, so that we can continue leveraging on them, and even our weaknesses, so as to make necessary improvements, the opportunities that are there that we are currently not utilizing, so that we can tap into them, and what are the threats of what we are currently doing some things in this way. What threats will this action bring to us? And so here is, we are asking, where are we now? So because right now it's the start of the year, the situation analysis you're going to do, it's about 2024, what we did, all about what we did on 2024 and what were the results that we achieved. And these are the 5 components mostly that when you focus on them, they're going to give you a great and a clear picture of what you really need to focus on in terms of your strength, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and even threats. And maybe now, maybe it's someone who's new here and they want now to start leveraging on digital marketing, and they're asking, okay, I wasn't active in 2024, but right now I want to start. I will say then again, it's still these other components. There are also some things that you have to look at again with my now, when we are going to be looking at the business overview, the customer analysis, and all that. So there are things that you're just going to apply. The only component maybe you're not going to study so much is the digital performance analysis. Okay, so let me now start on the component by component. So have you seen that the first component is a business overview? So where are we now? This is about your business, the ins and out of your business. And most of the time, number one that we normally focus about our business, because remember, we want to analyze this thing in reference to how we are communicating to our clients and even how we are delivering value. Yeah. So we are looking at our business. Mostly we start with the product. What is the product that we deal with? What is the value proposition? Yeah, what are the like key elements that our customers need to understand? And here I will say, for I know we have also business people who are here, and most of them, they like understand their products and each and every one of them. But now if you have a digital marketer and you haven't like really elaborated, that's when now you find there are confusions. Yeah, and sometimes we think that these things are not necessary, or even it's just automatic. But you have, if you have a product, you are selling like condiments. Yeah, you have to say, we are selling like condiment A. What is the value that my customers normally derive from it? Yeah. And what are the key components that my customers, when they want to use this condiment, they want to know? Maybe they want to know like the ingredient composition. Yeah. And even now when I use it, what is it helping me with? So these are from the product point, you have to look at that. And I will say when I'm mentioning all these things, these are things that I'm saying that we have to have them written down, and it's not in our minds. Even as much as even if it's you who is doing the digital marketing on your own, someone else might also be taking it up and let it be clear. But even if it's you, sometimes you might assume, I know all these things. But now when you start doing your marketing, there's some things because you haven't written down and you don't have somewhere to refer to, they get lost. So beyond the product, we are looking at the stakeholders who are involved. We have both internal and external stakeholders. If you're looking at the employees, what are their operations that enable us to deliver value to our clients? What are the things that we have said? We normally do trainings to our staff so that they can become competent in their skills. And now when you show that to your client and you're communicating it digitally, they say, oh, this is a company I want to work with, because with their employees, they ensure that they have their know-how every other time. You have to look at, are there any licenses that we need to have that we are operating? For instance, maybe if you are in the technology sector, what licenses do we require? Or even in the health sector, such kind of things. And when you communicate these things, people are like, oh yeah, this is a legit business. And even at times you're looking at external stakeholders. Do you have partners? Because there are some businesses, if you mention that you are aligned with certain kind of partners, it's like it earns you bonga points. Yeah. So for instance, like you say, for the technology people, and you're selling like machines, and you say that you're the main distributor, for instance, of like HP, something of that sort. These people, they're like, oh, I know from these people I'll always be getting legit kind of products. Yeah. So you have to look at what are these components in our businesses that when we communicate, actually, it enables the client to like us, to know us better, because we normally say someone has to know you to like you so that they can even buy from you. And so now these are the things that you are bringing out. What are the milestones that you have attained in your business? Have you gained like any respectable like industry awards, something of that sort? And do you communicate that? So these are the components I would say business overview you have to focus on. And then now when you're looking at the customer analysis, so here we are asking ourselves, who is our customer? And here I want to go a little bit deeper, because for customer analysis, we normally talk about how to build a customer persona. You have to have the characteristics of your customer so like well written down that you understand them, that even you give them an identity. They become so clear that this is the kind of a person we are targeting. So what is the process of normally to build a customer persona? We start by the demographic. You know the kind of people that you are serving, and now you have to ask yourself their age, because maybe you are selling clothes and these clothes they're just targeted to only to Gen Zs, but then also about their genders. Maybe they are targeted to Gen Zs and just ladies, or even Gen Zs who are just a male. What are their occupation? If maybe you're offering a training and you're saying, okay, this training is supposed to target people who are working at the senior level, maybe marketing, their marketing managers and all that. And it's not even for someone who is maybe, for instance, like a junior marketer, they might not be able to really leverage to be able to be like the most suited person for this. So this makes you not to say, anyone can buy my product. No, you have to really, really know who your client is. So from the demographic, which normally covers things like age, occupation, geographic, is it a local business, or are you also an international, or even do you also just cover also East Africa or even the entire Africa? What is their income level? Sometimes even marital status and all those. And then the other thing is their online behavior. And their online behavior is really key. As you have seen on the trivia that I shared, I asked about your favorite platform and what are the platforms where your clients are normally on. So sometimes most people, they say, okay, let me start with the one which I have and start informing them about my products and services. And for instance, if you're selling maybe like a professional course and your favorite platform is Facebook, yes, this person is going to be still on Facebook, but how they are consuming content on Facebook is totally different. On Facebook, they are thinking about family, they are thinking about maybe even like buying clothes. But when it comes to like a professional course, they are not aligned that way. But now when they come to LinkedIn, this person even is not thinking about family, about buying clothes. So they are, when they encounter that content, they're like, oh yeah, this is the place. So online behavior is really key, and online behavior will enable you to see where they spend their most times and how they behave on those platforms in regards also to the business that you are offering, and their timings also. When are they most active? There's no need to say because it's conducive for me to post at 9 p.m. that's when I am free, let me post at that time. No, it's all about when they are active. You want to communicate, and if you post at 9 p.m. and this person, they have already slept, and the time that they are being active, it's like 10 a.m. and at this other time there is no interaction and engagement happening on your content, definitely your platform, that's why now you normally say, oh, algorithm is unfair to me. No, algorithm works and sees within the first hour how many people have interacted so that they can push it to more people. But you decided because this is my conducive time, you do that. So you have to look at what are their online behavior and then their interests and activities. So their interest activities, you normally talk about emotional selling. So these are the things that will be able to for you to tap in on it. Um, for instance, if you are selling like baby clothes, yeah, and now it's for the interest of a parent is to buy clothes that they're going to make their child to feel comfortable because they are growing, and also clothes that they are not going to be like really small, because also at that time babies are growing really quick. So you are tapping on that because the interest and the focus of this mom is comfort. So even your the language that you're going to use when you're doing your marketing is, our clothes guarantee you total comfort, and there is no itchiness, the softness, because that is what they are focusing on. Yeah. If it's also again for the like for the professional, and I was saying like for instance like the training, the interest and activity, the interest of this person maybe might be to gain promotion, something of that sort. And so you are guaranteeing them that when you do our course, it's going to align you and even enable you even to be able to get better position, better job opportunities. So you have to look at that. And then also it's tied to their goals and aspirations, and even their challenges and their pain points. Um, for instance, if you're selling even like beauty products, and someone is maybe you're selling like products for acne or something of that sort, you know the challenge that this person is facing. Yeah, they have the acne, they've been problematic, so you are able to showcase that kind of a product. Yeah, so it's not just saying, okay, yes, we have a foundation and it's going to be able to cover. No, this person wants to treat it. So now you are able to tap on their challenges, and even at times to bring the emotional aspect is, even you can say things like, oh, if you want now to boost your confidence, to bring back your confidence because of how this thing has been problematic to you, we have a better solution for you. So you are tapping on their pain points. And then the influence on decision making. There are some who are influenced by their family members, their friends, and even others. We have personalities who they admire, which you have, like, for instance, influencers. Others, they're influenced by the associations they are in. Yeah. So you have to look at that, because if it's, for instance, an association, and now you look at digitally, how can I do like collaborations and partnerships with these associations? Yeah, so that now I can be able to talk to the people they influence. So who are the people who influence on their decision making? I've seen Jasper has written, is there an area with updated research on the behavior of different online consumers? Currently, I don't have like any I can share with you, but I can say you can do a search and see. But even for people like Kotler in their books, when they are talking about you on how to build a customer persona, these are normally mostly the pointers that you're going to look at. And even I would say, for even beyond just looking at the general online, also look at the one which is touching on your industry. Yeah. So, and I believe there are a lot of papers people have written in regards to that. So when you search, maybe you are in the motor industry, in the hotel industry, there are a lot of papers, and I believe that one can be able to guide you better. Yeah, so after we have known who our client is, so the other thing is the customer journey. So we know this is a client that normally buys from us, but what is now the stages that they normally go through? From them knowing about us to them buying, yeah, and even continuing being our client. So I would say from awareness stage. So now I start asking yourself, where and how are they normally aware about us? Yeah. So for instance, again, this also comes to the influence on decision, but awareness, it's even about their online behavior, where they are. So they normally search for these products on TikTok, or they normally search them on LinkedIn, depending on the kind of customer that you're dealing with. So where are they? So because we need to formulate our presence there. Beyond that, on these platforms, who else influences their decision? Okay, we need them to use influencers, because influencers, they help us in having the awareness. And yeah, we're going to go deeper into all those other tactics, because influencers marketing, all those, they fall under tactics and the different kind of categories of influencers that you can select. But now you look at, where are they normally aware about us? Or are they the people who normally read email newsletters? Yeah, or are they people who normally enjoy reading blogs and they're normally on the Google and doing search? Yeah. So how are they able to know about us? Or is it a referral that sometimes that people, even like, we always share that we see something, we share on the DMs or even on WhatsApp about something that we've seen. How are they aware? And how can we ride on that so that to spread our awareness? The other thing is interest, consideration, and even evaluation. So here is, after they've been aware, then what are the things that they normally search when they normally come to our page? So when they're coming to your page, you have to see, okay, have we communicated really well what we do, even on our bios, who we are? And if we are, again, selling like motor vehicles, have we highlighted the kind that we are specializing on? Have we really communicated it better? And even if maybe the bio, it's not, cannot capture everything, do we have a website to refer them so that they can now see the different categories of cars that we deal with, and even the kind of services that we offer, for instance, like financing and all that? So now we have now the interest and consideration and evaluation. Beyond just going to the website, what are the kind of content that we have posted that communicates about us, about our products? Can they even show our client interactions? Yeah, is it sufficient that, okay, it can build a case for us? Because when sometimes awareness is from a referral, and someone comes in, even if it wasn't like digitally, someone maybe on a group asked, do you guys know maybe a landscaper? And someone gave their number, and even they were like, yeah, you can check them out on Instagram, they're so and so. When they come to on Instagram, are they going to find the last time you posted was like 18 weeks ago? And even there are just very few posts that they don't really communicate. Yeah. So when you help your client when they're coming to that stage, because every client, remember, when they have a product in mind or they want a service, they are looking at different options. You are not the only one. So make it at this stage that really you are building a case for yourself, and look at those things that they normally look at. And then now we have now the engagement stage. Where does the engagement happen? Do they inquire on the comment section? Do they normally come on the DMs? Are they people also who prefer, okay, you can give me your WhatsApp number or even your phone number for us to continue with our interaction? Are they people who we have to set up a virtual meeting, yeah, to elaborate more on what we are doing? Yeah, do we need like even demos and such kind of things? So the engagement stage, and even how are you nurturing? Because there are people who are good at, and they have like interactions on the social media presence, people are following them, but how they're handling their engagement, it's really one thing. So at the engagement side, how well are we doing it? When people ask, inquire on the comments, do we respond? And what are the threats for us not responding? Yeah, the threat is, I can say, for instance, right now, the threat is someone else comes and they see, okay, this one did not reply, and they end up, I will not also bother to ask, and I'll go to the other alternative, which even there were people who are not offering like the best solution like you are. Yeah, or even sometimes you see, this one never responds. Yeah, such kind of things. And even on the DMs, how long are we taking? Are we responding instantly? And even when you are responding, if you're someone is asking for item A and we don't have item A, do we normally give them an alternative over B, or do we just say, okay, we don't have? And understand that this is like on the funnel. Yeah, at the top they're normally a lot, and then as you continue going down, they continue shrinking. So if someone comes and inquire, you just know the probability of converting this person is higher than just the one who has just started seeing your product. Yeah. So you do everything on how you are doing your engagement so that you'll be able to convert them. Now we come to the conversion stage. Where does our conversion happen? Do we need people to do we for them to have a checkout on the website? How efficient and streamlined is it? Or even how we are even if it's a booking for even a service, how well are we giving them all the details so that they are aware on this day we are going to offer you this service? Yeah. And even now we are looking at even the payments. If you're using the digital platforms, how secure are they? Yeah. And even sometimes even conversion, it's as simple as it has happened still on, for instance, like Instagram, and on the DMs you give them their till number. How are we even confirming they've paid, they've given us the confirmation code, we've confirmed, and even now we don't have even now to go to phone calls or any other site. We are able to finish the business there and then, because sometimes we prolong and we elongate all these processes and say, oh, Kasababa, they've come to the DMs and they are inquiring about this shoe and they're saying, okay, I want to pay. Now again, you're like, text me these details on WhatsApp. Why can't we not finish this process here? Yeah. So look at that process. Are you making it tedious for the client? And even at the same time, are you making it even tedious for you yourselves and the people who are handling all this by having so many tires if they are not necessary? And beyond you converting, look at how you're retaining these clients, because sometimes we just focus on, I have sold to this one and it's a done deal, that's closed business. It's normally easier to resell to someone who you've converted, especially if you've offered them the products and the services that they needed and they have been satisfied. So retaining, how are we doing our retention? Are we upselling, selling another product that was even more superior than the one which you had, or even cross-selling an alternative to that or an addition because they wanted, for instance, plates? Are you now even selling cups to them, something of that sort, so that they can come up with a dinner set? And yeah, and the retention, it's even what are we even doing to continue communicating with them? If they are using a certain kind of a gadget, how are we continually updating them? Are we offering even customer care? Yeah, for instance, if you subscribed to your internet, the person who provides you internet, how are they retaining you? You can find that whenever the internet goes on, you're able to communicate with them. So you as a business, what am I doing beyond just even selling another product? What are the services that I'm doing to continue having this person consume our products and our services? And even at times it can be something as simple as even appreciating them. Yeah, you even write thank you notes on these special days. But then I can say, let's not focus so much on even the bare minimums, but doing like tangible things. And some of these things, they're not that expensive, and the digital can help you big time. So when you have in mind who your customer is, then go back again and say, what are the journey they normally take, and have that clear and see where we are strong at, where we are weak at, what are the, because of the things that we haven't been leveraging, what are the opportunities and what are the threats for some of the things that we have been ignoring, for instance. And I can say sometimes the customer is not going to follow these steps the way they are. Yeah. There's one who might be like really in need of that product, and they're on awareness stage, and they know you, and there's no need even for so much interaction. They converted them, but not everyone is also at that level. So you have to accommodate the different ones and not say, there's one, some clients, they normally, okay, I don't know if the international people are here, they might not understand. Sometimes we normally say, kuna clients wanapendaga kusumbua sana. No, this person needs more nurturing than there's one who came and instantly bought. This was a different kind of a customer. So you also have to understand they are normally at different kind of stages and levels, and know the best way on how to nurture them. So that is on customer analysis, which is very, very key. And then the other thing is on competitor analysis. So beyond just what you have been doing and the interaction, looking at your interaction with the clients, it's best also to see what your competitors are doing. And here I formulated a simple table. The first on the table, and this is we are still assessing on the different stages that we have seen. So we have the awareness, the interest, the engagement, the conversion, and the retention. So at the top, mostly I normally recommend have the best digital marketing practices that normally happens within your industry and sector. So what normally happens within the awareness stage? How are we supposed to leverage digital marketing? And that is what even Jasper was asking. These are things that also you can do research on. Yeah. And even research on the internet, people have written lots of papers, even those ones touching on your sector. You might be shocked, and they normally assume that, this is something new. You might be shocked people have written in regards to that. But then just also look at also the one that is giving you generally what are the steps, or even digitally, how people ensure that their targeted customer are aware of them, and you have their interest and their evaluation and the engagement, the conversion and the retention. Why I normally say that is important to have that, so that now when you do the competitor analysis, mostly I normally say pick a minimum of 3. The one who's normally like really doing good in your sector, the one who is closer to you, that you are like on the same level, and then there's someone who is like a little bit like behind you or even so close to you, so that now you can assess. As when you're assessing them, then it also puts like a case for these are, yes, the best practices in our sector. And from it, you are able to see this is what competitor A normally does, this was what competitor 2 does and 3 does. And here at the end, I normally have observation. And observation is to see what you are doing better than competitor 1 and what competitor 1 is doing better than you. So that now then you can see, this is an opportunity. We need to add this. And it's not just copying and saying, because competitor A is doing videos, then we are also going to do it. No. So it's looking critically again in respect to your customers and even the stages that they normally go through, and assess all these kind of things, so that now it can give you and say, this is where we are at, this is what you're doing well, and this is what you need to improve on. And I will say in business, you'll always have a competitor. At times, even if, yes, it's such a unique kind of a product, an alternative to it is still your competition. And I would say also there's nothing like normally new under the sun. And there's no need to always like sometimes to lie to ourselves, I don't have competition. Competitors are there and they can teach you a lot. And even for instance, if you are someone who is new and you're venturing into something new, you might not really know what really happens. And the people who you see that they are your competition, or we are working on the same kind of a sector and offering the same kind of products or services, they can give you lots of insights on even how to better market to your clients. They will, So this is what you normally look at on competitor analysis. The other one is now the digital performance analysis. So in 2024, you've been doing digital marketing. So you look at first, how well did we optimize on all these platforms, which is something also you're going to look at when you're looking at tactics. Because when you, for instance, you're using like something like Instagram, have you used all the features well so as to be able to communicate to your clients and to serve them? Or have you just been concentrating on just posting on the timeline and ignoring things like stories, or even you haven't really optimized your profile? Did we optimally use Instagram as a platform? Did we optimally use LinkedIn as a platform? Did, for my clients and the customer behavior I have seen, there are people who normally love attending webinars for in-depth kind of information. Did I participate in any webinars? Did I host any webinars on this platform, be it audio or video? So we are looking at optimally. And for us now using for this platform optimally, what were the results? If we did content marketing and we were posting content, how well did people engage with us? How well did it reach people? So we're looking at the metrics of impressions, we are looking at reach, we are looking at reactions, yeah. And what are the relevant reactions? We're looking at comments. If we tell, if our certain kind of content was for people to make enquiries, did we get those enquiries? Really, what were the best performing content in that regard? And for instance, if then you have like website, what is the kind of traffic that we got? Yeah, because something like Google Analytics, and these are not things that I'm going to tell you that you have to onboard another kind of application or something of that sort. Every platform has, they give you this analysis. Yeah, for instance, if you're using the website, you have your Google Analytics, it's going to give you even the demographic of people who are visiting. Were they the right one? If we are in Kenya, how comes we were receiving a lot of traffic from India? What was the issue here? So that now you know again what we can rectify. But then also on a positive note, you say, oh, we can see even, for instance, like our bounce rate was really low. So it means the kind of content that we have and even how we have set up our website, people are really interested to know more about us and spending more time on it. So those are the aspects you're looking at beyond just leveraging on that platform optimally, but even now the performances and the metrics that you need to assess in regards to the objectives you had set. If you had set about growing online and you had even set a number, were you able to reach that? About acquisition of clients, had you, maybe you had said we need to digitally, you need to get 10 clients per month, were you able to attain that? So those are the key things that you assess there. And then now we have, now for the resource analysis, we are looking at now the resources that we have internally. We normally have the 5 M's. Man is the people who we have. Do we have the people with the right competence? Where did we struggle? If it came to video production, does it mean that we don't have this kind of skills and expertise? Yeah, sometimes you have the expertise, but it's the minutes. Truth be told, with my rounds of consultancy, I normally see digital marketing is normally tied to another docket. Yeah, maybe it's the sales, and this person has to go outside and do sales, and even sometimes, even if it's you alone who's doing it, as a solopreneur, you have all these other things that you are involved in. Did you give digital marketing the ample time? You might have the skills, but it was the time. Yeah, that's why you end up posting at that time that you are free. Looking at that, we have the materials. Do we have the necessary materials? Again, also for us to do our upscaling, to do our research. Did you have the right materials to, like, our calendars? Did you have the necessary calendars? When you're looking at also money, when money was required, maybe to pay for some platforms, maybe to run ads, did we have the money to do that? Yeah. And the machinery, again, if you're using other platforms, maybe CapCuts for editing, did we have? And this are now the technology, we've just written them as machinery, but do you have like the laptops? Do you have like the phones? Yeah, to be able to do that. If we had all these, if you find that you had all these and you're not able to meet the targets that then you had set, then you're like, what was really the issue? Yeah. So, but if you assess really properly when it comes to man, the competence, yeah, and all that, and even the not just someone who's competent, and even the people, the number of people, because sometimes your digital marketing efforts may require not just one person. So did we have a videographer on the side, because now we are seeing a need. So when you are doing all this assessment, where we are, where what we did, so where we are now on the side, you're definitely knowing in 2025 we need to make improvements on here. In 2025, because we didn't give ample time, I need to do that. In 2025, when I was looking at the competitor analysis, we saw that our most of all our competitors are using webinars as one of their tactics. Then we need to employ that. So already when you're doing a situation analysis, you're not only assessing what happened in the past, but now even informing on the decision that you're going to do. And even there's some things that we did last year that then we need to continue doing this year. So that is institution analysis. So when you do it really well, you find these other steps, they're going to be really easy. So the next now, it's now having objectives. So we have now the objectives for 2025. What do we want to attain? And objectives, we normally set them using the SMART way. And so what do we want to achieve courtesy of our digital marketing efforts? So first of all, your objective has to be specific. You've seen digital, we are using different kind of channels. Yeah. And even for digital marketing, you are going to be able to set different kind of goals. There's one that is to grow your visibility online. There's one that is about generating leads. So you have to be specific and not just having like that one general and say, this year I want to have 30 clients from, or quarter one, I want to have 30 clients from my digital marketing efforts. That you've just focused on the lead generation. What about you growing online? Because when you have this right kind of audience who are following you, who are connecting with you and engaging with you, it's easier to convert them. And it's not just saying, I want to convert these people, but when you're looking at even the number of your followers, you're saying you want to convert 30, but you even have like hundreds. Is that really realistic? But then even if you have those hundreds, organically it might not be possible. Then can I employ even the paid kind of tactics? Yeah. So here, these are now the objectives you set. So it has to be specific, and not just generalize it, and it has to be measurable. So the numbers, if it's even growing, you want to grow by how many? If you want leads, how many people? Yeah. Even if it's, for instance, having people attend your webinar, you have to really say, I want this number of people to attend my webinar, and for me to be able to convert from them to be able to get inquiry from at least 2. It has to be that, and it has also to be assignable. It has to be something that is being done by a specific person. Yeah. Sorry. Assignability, maybe you can say, oh, I'm a solopreneur, I'm the only one who is doing it, but sometimes, excuse me, give me a moment, I drink some water. Yeah, sorry about that. So yeah, so for it being assignable, you have to know who really is doing this digital marketing. For instance, even if it's content creation, even if it's running ads, even if it's like communicating with influencers or managing it, you have to know. Even if at times you are doing it alone, sometimes you might have some other people who are helping you on the side, like even content creators. Really highlight it very, very clearly, this is the person assigned. But even in the big organization, you'll find you have beyond just the people in the digital marketing, you want to involve other people. in the digital marketing efforts because they have the expertise. For instance, if you're doing a webinar and you have the technical team, you want to leverage on the technical team for them to facilitate this webinar because they know the ins and outs of the product or the services that you normally offer. So that you see it's a collaborative effort, and it has to be something realistic, not just putting numbers for the sake of it, because at the end of the day, if you don't attain it, now you'll start being discouraged and even start saying things like, I don't think digital marketing works and all that. But the targets that you set, were they realistic and even time bound? There are targets you're going to set on a monthly basis. I want to attain this, or even on a quarterly, and even at the end of the year, you want to have attained this. Let's look at some examples of the objective. So you can look at which one do you think is a SMART objective. So there I have increase website traffic by 20% in 3 months, and B, maybe even now you can highlight it on the charts, the one which you think that it's a SMART objective. Increase newsletter signups by 300% within 1 day. The other one is the digital marketing team, in collaboration with the technical department, will host bi-monthly webinars to generate 30 conversion-worthy leads in Q4. Yeah, so I don't know from your assessment, which one do you think is a SMART objective? Between A, B, and C, you can just highlight it on the chart. But if now we look at A, yes, it looks specific because we want to have website traffic. It's measurable. It's by 20%. And also it has the time. It's in 3 months. But I can say there, it's really not, it hasn't been assigned. Yeah, you might have the person who is in charge of the website highlight it, or who else is in charge of the website, who else is going to be, so that is not assigned. When we look at B, we are saying increasing newsletter signups by 300% within 1 day. I will say this sounds very unrealistic. It's going to be realistic if you have, for instance, like 3,000 emails, and now of people who you've been interacting with, and now you want to start a newsletter and you send them the notification. If you have the logic conversion between 1 to 10% that we normally use, because it's not a high intent kind of an activity, 10%, let's give it 10%. So if you have 3,000, the 10%, within that 1 day, you can get 300% sign up within 1 day, because it's like 300 sign up. But if you don't have any emails, yeah, or even it's just like very few of them, really, the 300% within that 1 day, it's not realistic. So yeah, so as you've said, C, because we can see it's specific because you're talking about webinars. It's measurable because we have even the 30 conversion worthy leads. We have the assignable, you have the digital marketing and the technical team, and the other one is it's realistic. It's something that you can be able to achieve, and even you look at realistic because of what you have been doing previously. And then the other one, SMART, it's time bound. Yeah, it's in Q4, and this one, they normally happen actually by monthly. You want to have these 30 conversion worthy leads in Q4, but your webinars are doing it by monthly. So when you're setting your objectives, let them be SMART. Yeah, with all those pointers that we have highlighted. So the next step after you've set your objective is now saying, what is the strategic positioning? How do we get there? And mostly is now in the minds of our clients, whenever they see our name, whenever they see our content, or whenever someone mentions us, what is the position or what is the mindset they have about us? Because it's going to enable you to even, it's going to make it easier for your communication. So there are normally like 3 components of strategic positioning. And strategic positioning also sets you apart from your competitors. So you have cost leadership. Do you want your clients to know you as a person who offers affordable kind of products and goods? The product that you normally sell is normally even below 1,000 shillings, and like people can get alternatives, like it's one for 1,000, but for you, you normally do like three for 1,000 because you want cost leadership people to know you are very, very affordable. And I believe you've seen such kind of businesses that lead with that. I normally love using the example of the Somali restaurants. Yeah. Not Somali restaurants. For instance, right now with what is happening with the Shikoa style, yeah, people bought her products because of affordability and nothing else. So yeah, do you want to go that way on cost leadership? The other one is differentiation. You want to distinguish yourself in terms of quality and quantity. If it's quality, there will never be a discussion on being cheap or expensive. These people, they normally want to be known by their premierity of their products. Yeah, so you can say, there's normally this kind of a skincare products being sold at place A, it's at this amount, but these other people, they normally sell it and they tell you we are selling the quality and the premium product. So there's never a discussion about even the amount of money, it's the quality. And even there are some, we can say things like Mercedes, um, um, brands like iPhone, they run on that quality. Yeah. And then we have now the quantity. Now the quantity here is the number that people normally get. People know. That's when I was talking about the Somali restaurants. You know, when you go to those restaurants, it's normally like a platter. The amount of food they serve you, it's really huge quantity because they want to differentiate themselves from this other one, which normally say, for instance, you can go to a high-tech restaurant and this meal that you're going to eat for 3,000, it's only breakfast. But for them, 3,000, it's for a family of 6. So quantity there, do you want to be differentiated in terms of that? And even focus area, which is what I normally see service provider ride on. Do you offer broad kind of services, and even do you serve a broad market, or is it even a narrow kind of a service, a niche? For instance, like me, I can say mine is normally riding on focus area, and my focus area is on digital marketing strategy and training. So I am not involved in platform management and all those other ones. But you can find there is a digital marketing agency which will tell you we offer all these kind of services. We are a one-stop solution for your everything digital marketing, from strategy to even management, the ends to ends. So what are your focus area? And even for products, again, focus area is not just tied to a service pay only. Even for goods, what do you want to focus on? Maybe it's just we're just focusing on bridal clothes, or even sometimes I'm just doing clothes for plus size ladies only, something of that sort. Or even we're just specializing on men wear only, or even if it's footwear, and maybe they're just sneakers only. What is your focus area, and you want people to know you? So what you want is to think that normally leads, and you want people, it doesn't mean that they're not going to be like a combination, that you have focus area and also you're going in respect to affordability. But what is normally the main one that you start with, that people, they need to know you of, which will help you even now with your communication, because immediately they see you, they need to associate you with that. So that is on strategic positioning. So having that cleared now, that's when now you start talking about tactics. How do we exactly get there? And tactics, they're not going to be generated anywhere else, because we are doing these tactics in reference to the customers. We have our persona. Again, now you're looking at the customer journey. And we said that strategy is happening on these channels, the digital marketing channels, which they are all that I have listed, from Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, website, email. So here on tactics, we are going on details. I'm not just writing and say, oh, we're going to be doing Facebook marketing, because that's where our clients spend most time. But now coming in and start saying optimizing on the Facebook marketing. Facebook, when you have a page or even your profile, how have I optimized and customized my profile to communicate better? How are we approaching our content marketing? Are we leveraging on the meta ads? Are we doing community building, influencing marketing? Are we doing also collaboration? We are seeing Facebook, they normally have groups. How have I onboarded that? Yeah. And even now, beyond just looking at all these like content marketing, now we'll go deeper. What does our content marketing entail? What are the ideas? What are we ideating and even creating our pillars? How are we raising awareness about ourselves? Which also I can say it touches on the business overview, where now you have a clear profile about your organization, about your products, and all that. Yeah. So if now you come now to content marketing, how when it comes to raising awareness, what do we need to communicate to these people so that they can know us, so that they can like us? Yeah. How are we driving engagement? Yeah. Are we using polls? Are we using the question tags on the stories? How are we generating leads? Yeah, through even the content. Do we have content that actually speaks on how we're generating leads? Are we incorporating storytelling and emotional selling for us to generate leads? And even sometimes, do we just have content that is nurturing, because it's not just every time selling to them? Do we give them tips? Do we give them guides? Even if I'm selling clothes, do I show them how to combine these outfits? Sometimes, do I give them the backstory of the process that we know these clothes to them, how we are packaging it? And here I can say, when you're looking at tactics, things like we normally say what the trends at that time. Yeah. So I can say, for instance, right now, when you're looking at the 2025 trends, looking at what has been happening in 2024, things like user generated content, they're going to be really dominant. Yeah. So you are looking at um, how am I going to have people, not just no influencers, but people who are actually using my products to even influence other people to use, just common people. So here now you're looking at how are we going to approach our clients to be able to create content on how they're interacting when they're getting their product. Yeah, sometimes even it can be, even sometimes you incentivize them in some way, but there are some, if you know, continue posting how other clients, when they receive a package, they're commenting about the package, because that's a user generated content. They're like, okay, yeah, even me, I want to do it, the other clients want to do it. Yeah, so those are the user generated content. Another content that is the trending right now, and it touches on raising awareness about you, is the employee generated content. An employee just jumping on a random TikTok kind of trends, maybe doing, it's not bad when you do the dances, but again, we are doing this reflecting on the client. So now you see, for the employee, the ones who normally show how we normally brainstorm, how we normally have our brainstorming meetings, so as to be able to curate a certain kind of a product for our client. Sometimes we are saying how we normally do our team building, so that we are refreshed and be able to serve our clients better. It has to be tied to your client. It's not just doing things just randomly, just for the sake. And even sometimes you're showing the different people at the front desk, and what they normally like whenever, and what they normally like their emo when they are interacting with the clients. Like, there's one who is known for smiling at clients, there's one who is known for over explaining things. Yeah, you see, so this is still, you're showing about your team, but it's in respect to how they're interacting with their clients. So it's not just random kind of content. So that is now when you're looking at ideating, the kind of for engaging, the kind for nurturing, the tips that you are sharing. So when it comes to tactics, every point you reach, you have to go deeper and elaborate and elaborate. And this, again, we're saying we are noting them down, and then so that now we can formulate things like the SOPs, the standard operation procedures. Because if you're looking at influencer marketing, the kind of influencers that we want to work with, is it nano influencers, the ones who are starting out? Is it micro influencers, or is it the micro influencers, the kind of category? And what is our way of approaching them? Yeah, do we even now want them to give us their rate card, or do we normally suggest for like the PR packages. So you have to have your SOPs so that if you are doing it, even if it's you as the business person, you know the kind of steps that you need to take, the kind of, if you need to have contracts at some point to be signed, already you have them ready, and you're not get like, oh, we've decided to do for Valentine's and I need an influencer. Already they tell you to formulate a contract. Time is running out. You're formulating. By the time you are done with that process, it's already 13th and Valentine's is on 14th. So you haven't even created any content. And I would say for tactics, you have to have them in reference to your client, but then have them well detailed, well elaborated. And I can say Joy saying Facebook and community building go hand in hand. Yeah. So you have to ask yourself how to go deeper on all this. Again, through experience, you will know the different ways of maneuvering through research. But then again, now this one is where we, even us as consultants, because we've worked with different brands and for some time, we'll be able even to guide you better on how to go about it. But if you're starting, I will tell you, you have to do more research on each and every one of these and not just do the bare minimum or just the surface level thing that you have been undertaking. And even here for tactics, you can have even things like the last point I've indicated there, it's other platforms integration. So here we're even looking at through our operations, if when you're doing the resource analysis and we said we had the people, but time was not on our side, how can we have other tools to help us streamline these processes? And that is why even now we start having the talks of how we are going to even onboard AI to help us to do better, even in terms of even maybe if it's our content creation, because maybe we are taking a lot of time with doing videos, but can we use a platform like Midjourney and the Soras for us to be able to create a video more quickly? Yeah. And that is why now, again, now people are asking, okay, is AI going to replace my job? And I will say right now, on board AI, but replacing your job, if you are the one who is managing your platforms as a business person, you know you're the only person. So there's no replacing happening there. So you're onboarding AI to help you do this work more. If you are employed and in the digital marketing, and for most, as I mentioned earlier, you are doing this with another role, why don't you onboard AI to help you to do and streamline your digital marketing? Because there's, with AI, you have to have someone who is giving these prompts and even when it gives you the output to recheck and all that. So it's not something that is just automatic that you can just insert and say, okay, create for me content, okay, post for me on LinkedIn, that it just does. There has to be, and right now you are that one person and you're juggling a lot of things. But then you might find, okay, I am just normally in my digital marketing docket, and I'm not doing other stuff, still on board AI, you will find that you'll have more free time to do those other things that you cannot automate, yeah, or even leverage AI to help you do. So I will say with now integration with other platforms, because you'll find when it's happening on Facebook again, these things, they also have to be, you have to have created content previously for you to have it on board. And even beyond that, you'll find also sometimes beyond Facebook, you have even your WhatsApp. How well have you integrated even that communication between Facebook to WhatsApp or any other platform, between Facebook to your website? What is that flow? Yeah. So when you're looking at tactics, let's be as detailed and not just saying, I think this year we'll do more videos. Yes, videos are becoming more prominent, and even this year they're going to be more prominent across all platforms. I don't think there is any platform that has been left behind. Maybe let's say something like Twitter, but even LinkedIn right now, it's giving more prominence to videos. But it's not just saying just for the sake of it, but now how are we going to go about it so that now it becomes easier? So that is on tactic. So you've seen that now you've done our situation analysis, we had our objectives, and even you have on how we want to position ourselves in the minds of our targeted customers and clients, and we even have now our tactics, and we have gone deeper into them so that now they become more elaborate. So right now it's now to act. Because all these things you can have them on paper, but then you have to act on them. And I'll say now again, action requires you to have the men. Even if it's you, ensure you have the right kind of competence. And even if it's you, you have even the time to do that. If you don't have, please leverage on the online resources to learn. If you find that you want to start exploring email marketing, go ahead and learn about email marketing, and not just assuming that this is something that is just going to come automatically. With digital, it's a lot of research and learning, and it never stops. Yeah. Today, you might think that, oh, I have hacked on email marketing. With this platform, they continue bringing in new things. And even now, you find even beyond that thing that happens on your platform, there are even other things happening within the industry. Who knew about AI like 2 years ago? And right now, that is the focus. So anything that you need to use, do the necessary research and learning. And it's not something that you're going to learn. I won't lie to you, you're going to learn just within a day, but it's a continuous process. Beyond that, have the time. If you don't have the time, please hire someone to do that. And this one you can from the agency, or even just hire the freelancing social media people. And even if you have the resources and the abilities on board, then someone in the digital marketing. And even at times you see the amount of work that needs to be done there, have now a digital marketing department, and even it's not just one person. Yeah, they will have people who are looking at your email marketing. You'll have people who are looking at your content, because you know the amount of work that needs to be done. From your assessment, that will tell you. And even the necessary materials, you have to ensure you have that, the machinery, and even money. If you are doing ads, at this platform, they normally tell you, if you put this amount of money, we're going to have this number of reach, and this is the possible number of clicks that you're going to get. Yeah. And from the number of clicks, we normally say use 1 to 10% kind of a conversion. And I normally tell people use the 1% conversion rate to say, really, if I was giving them a form, how many people I can get. If you are given 600 like link clicks, so just know from the 1%, yeah, like 6 they are going to register. So if from the 600 link clicks, they were coming from about 200 shillings, and then even from the 6, even the conversion again, you have again to calculate between the 1 to 10%. Then now okay, then what amount of money do I need to invest? If it's for the platform that you're using, there are no shortcuts nowadays. Even for Adobe, you can't crack them anymore. Yeah, if you have to pay for them, you have to pay, and now you have to set aside the money. And even now, these are the communication at the start of the year for your department. You need to know these are the amount of money that we will need to spend on these different things, and you communicate to your finance department early enough so that the money can be availed. So when you have these, again, you have things that are going to guide you. And normally the key charts that I normally use, they are one called the Gantt chart, which I'm going to show you how it looks like. We have the digital marketing calendars. We have the content calendar. You have the budget planner. You have a work plan. So for mostly, the calendar that we normally have all our activities are normally the content calendar. But let me tell you, beyond that, let me just show you. I realized the screenshot that I used, it's quite pixelated, but I will tell you, the Gantt chart, it normally looks like this. So you have a column that has the activities that you need to do, all the tactics. For instance, if it's content marketing, if it's ad, if it's influencer marketing. And then the second column normally has the person who is in charge. Yeah. If it's only you, right. If you are going to have consultants, indicate them. If it's a digital marketing department, highlight everyone. If it's something that is going to require collaborative effort, you have to highlight who it is. Yeah. So because when you highlight the person in charge, you'll be able to communicate them better. Have you ever encountered a situation you want someone from a different department to do something, and at that time they're like, I'm not going to be able to? Mostly it's because it's a last minute kind of a thing, and you didn't prepare them well, and now it becomes you start having like bad blood with people, or they don't want to support me. But if you have this plan, early enough, this person will be able to prepare themselves better. And then now mostly we normally have the times. For this one, you are creating for 3 years. The first year it's more defined, and then now in the second a little bit, now in the quarter ways, and then now in the half. And I can say for a strategy, the minimum I would recommend you formulate a full year kind of a strategy. And someone will be like, how do I know what is going to happen by July? It's your business. You have to have the plans and what you want. If you want to launch a product, you have to know, if it's in September, I want to launch this product. But before launching this product, what are the things that we need to do before? Yeah, if we're for our product, so as to push and people to be aware of it, we'll need to have influencers. It's not in September that you'll start looking for influencers and onboarding them. It is from July that you'll have to have all these plans and this communication, so that by the time, and even you've already created your content, by the time you are launching, now it's set and go. And for digital marketing, the way we normally say, when we get there, well, we'll cross the bridge when we get there. When you get there, you'll realize that you don't have a bridge, and so you'll not have anything to cross, so your launch will just flop. Right now, if it's like you want to do for Valentine's, I will say this is the time to start planning and to start even all those things, like if you need to create your content and all that, so that now even the communications, if it's the latest that you're going to start talking about Valentine's for people to buy on 14th, let it be fast. That's when it will be the latest that you start. And it's not like on 12th we will start our conversation or our communication to our clients about Valentine's. I don't know if some of you've already seen Rihanna with her Fenty the Savage line for lingeries. She has already started, and now you start wondering, where was she? It's not that they started doing the planning in January. These things that they started from November last year, because they knew we want to close to close ourselves for November. And that is when now at the end of the November, you will start hearing that it was sold out. She hit million records kind of sales, but it was because of proper planning. So when you have this, the full year, and even for the following year, you know, and even at times, some they don't even start like in January. They are planning. Yes, you can start it now in January, but their activities, there are some who the activities even start in May. Yeah. So, and even others, they say, okay, we'll start our planning from September, because that is how our financial year normally starts. So it's not just like statics at you start in January and it's everything that you're going to do in January and December alone. Even you have to think about how we are progressing even in 2026 and even in 2027, because there's some things we'll do in 2026 in January. The planning will have to be done in October 2025. So that is how the breakdown of the Gantt chart normally helps you. But going beyond that, so we have also like the digital marketing strategy calendar. Normally the calendar that I normally use, it's the actual calendar of the dates. And for each, now I know for here we are looking at publishing this kind of content. On this day, we're supposed to do a webinar. On this time, an email newsletter is supposed to go. So it's not just about the content, because we normally have the content calendars, which is not something I'm going to look at, because that is what you've been doing. If you haven't been doing, you're doing a disservice to yourself. Please have even a content calendar and say, on Monday I'm posting this kind of content, on Wednesday I'm posting this kind of content, or even on Friday, depending on the frequency you will choose. If it's every day, have it clear. On every month, these are the kind of contents. And sometimes someone might ask, some changes might happen. Let the changes happen, you do adjustment, but it's not that you don't have already a plan, because not changes don't happen every other day. So if there was nothing happening in week 1 and week 2, so it was better for you to have already the calendar than to say, things will change, let me not put it on a calendar. Please highlight them on your calendar. It will streamline even your management. And then these other charts again also have your budget planner, so that now you can communicate even with the finance people. Or for the Gantt chart, also at times we highlight the budgets for each activity. but I normally do another budget planner which has all those other things elaborated. Yeah. So again, I said we are dealing with the finance department. If now it's in January, they'll be able to know we are going to allocate this kind of a money for your activities and all these other charts. And even a work plan to say, if it was for a webinar happening next week, today we need to sit as a group to look at our key talking points and all those kind of things. So again, our plan will look different. All these kind of plans and charts, they are normally different from one another and serve the different kind of purposes. Yeah, so after you have now everything set in place and you're now acting on it, as you continue doing it, you now have the measures and control. Now now we have our key performance indicators, which are also linked to our objectives. And I will say here we have, because it's digital marketing, you have platform performances. You have platform performances, for instance, growing your number of followings and even growing your engagements, the people you want to, for them to see your contents, your impressions, you have for each and every one of them. If it's website, the website traffic, you have things like bounce rate, you have things like the kind of people who are interacting from the demographic. So platform performances, and already you have them written down as smart goals. So right now it's now looking at them in reference to the kind of analysis and reports you're going to get. And then now we have now the lead generation efforts, which is really key in terms of a business. So now you are tracking. If we said we want to generate 30 leads per month, and we had them, maybe 5 they were coming from content, another 5 they were coming from webinar, another 5 or 10 they were coming from ads, you have also to track that. And then now the resources utilization. Are we overutilizing and overstretching ourselves, or are we underutilizing our resources and we need to do much more? Yeah, so that is on the measures and controls. And again, as I said, if now you need to know about these statistics, every platform provides these statistics. So, and they're not like, I will say, no use for this platform, download, for instance, like for HubSpot, they will give you, no. If it's for LinkedIn, they will give you sufficient kind of information. And I can see Joy talking about a calendar is paramount for digital success, and they need to try the Gantt chart. And even for Debbie, the first time hearing about Gantt chart, very eye-opening. Yes, it's a tool that enables everyone, especially you who is in charge of digital marketing, and then you have the people who are the overall overseers, your senior management, to even be able to follow through, and even the people who you're collaborating with, and even there are sometimes even consultants. Everyone who is involved knows what is happening, and so it's not just doing things guesswork and all that. Yeah, so if you're keen enough, you'll realize the strategy that you've developed, you've used the SOSTAC framework, from situation analysis to objectives, to having a strategic positioning, to having our tactics, to having the actions, and to have the control. This is a continuous process. It's not something that I will say the first time you do it, oh, on your own, you will hack it. It's something that you'll continue building on it and improving on it as you go. Yeah, but also how to better improve on it. It's lots of research and yeah, lots of observation, lots of learning needs to happen when it comes to digital marketing. Digital marketing, it's one of that docket, or I can say field. Lots of learning and research normally goes into it, and I won't lie to you. And things keep on changing, new updates happen. You have to put yourself on that. And the other thing also I would love to mention, because I've been talking just about businesses, and someone maybe might be saying, okay, what about when I'm using my own personal brand? it's still the same process. It's just that you are now using your name for people to know about your services and products. But again, you're still using these same channels. You still have competitors. You still have the way the channels need to be utilized fully. So you will still need to do your situation analysis. You still need to have your objective. You still need to have your strategic positioning. You still need to have the tactics in place and well elaborated, and your actions and control. So there is no difference even when you're doing it as a personal brand, especially if it's a personal brand for driving business success. It's not a personal brand for employment. That one, I'm not the best person to guide you on that. But personal brand for your business, that's it. Or even you're thinking about a business in the future, this is still the same kind of way that you need to employ to formulate the strategy. I don't think I have left anything out. So I think I've seen the questions. It was just from Jasper. I don't know if anyone else has any question. You can indicate, but then if you want, maybe you feel like to ask your question by you want to do it as a video, just raise your hand and then I will onboard you on this other side. I don't know if there are any questions. I don't want to rush and go, or maybe there's something that maybe you can, even if it's not related to what you've talked about in terms of digital marketing, feel free to ask. Yeah, because right now we are 1 hour 31 minutes into it. It was supposed to, yeah, we are still having some time at least. Yes, we've covered the presentation. If there was something that wasn't even clear, you can ask for elaboration. Yeah. Let me answer Jasper's question. From experience, how long does it take for a new business to have footing, factoring in everything has been set well? Footing in terms of for you to start getting results, I would say again, it's looking at, for instance, if you're doing the organic approach, if it's new, this you're starting your pages, so you have to give yourself time to grow those pages, right? This is in the digital space in terms of growth, invisibility, and client acquisition. So if you're doing it organically, even from you now starting people to start knowing about you and about your business, organically, and you don't even have, for instance, you are dealing with people, you have their contacts, you have their emails for you to reach out to them and tell them, oh, we have now a social media presence, or even you have now an email or even a website. It will take a substantive amount of time, yeah, even 6 months. And even that one, I will not even tell you that you'll have thousands of followers. This is organic. But again, beyond just looking at organic, but also what I can say, we, for instance, like 6 months, a new platform like TikTok, if you are really committed and you're doing your content and it's right, and you're continually even looking at the intensity, you might be able, for TikTok, I can say even you can get even like to 2,000 of the right kind of, but then again, we're looking at the right kind of people you want to target. But platforms like Instagram and Facebook, it takes quite some time. But then now here it's when we are looking at, we are going beyond just the organic of us just posting and leveraging on our own efforts. We are looking at now doing also partnership and even paid marketing, because for paid marketing you can run ads, for instance, on Instagram and even on Facebook, for people to be able to know about you, and it's going to push them beyond even the people who you know. Yeah, beyond the 100 that you started with, it's going to push them beyond you and people to be able to follow you. But then also we have even like for influencer marketing in a very creative and tactical way, someone talking about yeah, I've met a new kind of a platform, and they're talking about, let me say something that I saw recently. They're talking about detergents and washing solutions and all that. So you're like, okay, I'm using this influencer, leveraging them with their mentions, and automatically their followers, they're going to follow me. So again, at times even it's like collaboration, collaborating with someone else who has been in the game and they have a following, and maybe you're going to do your collaboration in terms of maybe doing a live video or even a webinar so that people can know you. So there are different tactics that you can be able to use, looking at every platform, the features that it avails. Yeah, so let's focus going beyond organic and what we can, by now leveraging also the assets that they're there we can pay for, or even the assets of other people. So again, that's when you can get like people visibility. And if you have the right kind of people and they're in need of these products, even if it's starting from those 100, you can still be able to convert them. Let me even say that. But then if you have like numbers, you want to convert 20 per month and you have like 100, enyewe hapo unaona we need to beef up on our organic, but then let's go beyond organic and have paid. Just saying, can we have another session of the same in the evening maybe? Okay, I will look into that. So session in terms of tactics for client acquisition, or it's a session on just elaborate, and then I guess I will definitely look into it and we can have a session. I don't know if Jasper, I have answered your question. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know if there's any question, but feel free to follow me on the platforms. LinkedIn, I'm actively on LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Follow me. LinkedIn is Kate Wanjiko. The other one is Go Digital with Kate. I'll be sharing more on digital marketing strategy. And from there, we can be able to continue with the conversation, but not just also waiting for the time that we share. Feel free to reach out to me if you have any questions for clarification and elaboration. And even if you feel like we want to start and you want to be able to be helped in formulating the strategy, that is something that I can guide you on, because my two services are on digital marketing strategy formulation and the other one is on training. But before we jump on training, I always say have a strategy first, because you've seen even with the analysis, that's when if it's like the man and you're looking at the competence, that's when you start seeing the gaps. Maybe your gap is in ads, maybe your gaps is in content creation, then we will know that's what we need to train on, instead of just doing trainings just randomly and for the sake of it. You find that you have a lot of information but you don't know how to use it. So first of all, have a strategy in place. And yeah, let's continue with this conversation. It's something that it's a work in progress, and the more you do it, the better you gain clarity, and even the more you start falling in love with digital marketing and start seeing results, because results, you will see them, as you have seen with this process. It's not something that you're just going to do it just um, uh, for the sake of it. And also, I am planning, because this session has been recorded, I'm planning to download it and I will post it on my YouTube channel, which is not yet active. In the future, we might have podcasts and things like that, but I will just post it there and share it on my platform, so that any other time you want to refer back to it, you can be able to do that. But thank you so much for joining. I can see Joy, thank you. This deep dive was much needed, and also Frederick and Stella. And yeah, wish you guys all the best as you formulate your strategies. So as I say, go ye and formulate your winning 2025 digital marketing strategy, and let's see each other on those platforms as winning, as getting those results. Okay, bye bye. Thank you. Oh, before I end, I've seen Frida asking, I'm interested in influencer marketing, but they are expensive. Any shortcut? It depends on the kind of influencer you want to work with. And now it's from the nano to the macro. I can say for the nano, they're the ones who have, yes, you can say they have like a small following, but these people normally have an influence on the people they are their communities, yeah, and actually you're going to get results. And I can say, and for them, some they just accept even PR packages, and sometimes people say it's easier for PR packages when it's a product, but then if you're offering a service, can this service suit this person? Yeah, it's even better. If it's, for instance, like digital marketing strategy, can I offer them my service so that now they can tell, even it's much, much better, that even acts as a user generated content, because they will be influencing from a point of knowing. But then also we have another form of like user generated content, especially that happens on TikTok, with the accounts that have come up of plugging people on different ways to get different products. Those ones, they started as user generated, but slowly they have gotten into the nano, but these people still follow them for them to be able to be plugged. So, and I can say for them, they're not that expensive. It's just normally a PR product, or um, even if it's something small, the fee, it won't be that much. But also, again, also normally go there and be confident to negotiate. You know that someone is going to tell you 30,000, have room for negotiation. Okay, for this, what can we do, this and this and this, so that this amount can come to this? People are open to negotiation. So yeah, don't fear about doing that. But again, choose the right one. Don't just choose someone because they have the numbers. Look at, if your audience, they normally congregated and influenced by this person, because you might offer someone a PR package and you'll never get even any leads or even people following you. So yeah, that's what I would say. I don't know if there's any question. I've started seeing questions popping up before I close the chat. Okay, yeah. So even on the, I believe on the video, on the YouTube video, still, if you have a question, you can still ask there, and I'll be able to answer. Yeah. So thank you so much, and yeah, have a blessed and a successful and a productive 2025.